Hello students, welcome to ElGA revision class. Today we are going to revise a story about a curious learner, Albert Einstein. For this, I will show you a video. So get ready with your required material. So let's get started.
This is me, Albert Einstein. Most people agree I was one of the most brilliant scientists of all time. I was very slow to learn to talk when I was small. Now let's meet my dad, Herman. He was a clever man, always reading poetry books and playing chess. He was interested in science and engineering, and he was always starting electrical companies. None of them were very successful, but he was quite relaxed about everything. And here's my mother, Pauline. She was also pretty clever. She liked reading and music. She loves playing piano and especially the violin. So I grew up in quite a cultivated household. I've already told you I was slow to learn to talk. That's because I was always thinking about things in my own mind. I found schoolwork quite easy, but it was annoying too. I mean, I like finding out my own stuff in my own head without using other people's ideas. For example, why exactly does that boy's football fly up in the air when he kicks it? And look at that man's hat coming off in the wind. It made me wonder about all those invisible forces. But it was really my dad's brother, Uncle Jacob, who got me interested in science. He was an engineer too, and he knew everything about geometry and maths and physics. And we used to play games and laugh and talk about interesting ideas together. After school, I decided I wanted to be a maths and physics teacher so that I could answer all the big questions in my head. So I went to university in Zurich, in Switzerland, to learn to be a maths teacher. While I was there, I met an interesting girl called Mileva, and when I wasn't too busy doing maths problems, I worked out that I was in love with her. Guess what? I didn't enjoy teaching at all. So I went with Mileva to Bern, in Switzerland, and got a job in the patent office there. A patent is a clever way for inventors to stop anyone pinching their ideas. Of course, I did my job properly, but what I was really interested in was my ideas about the universe, and I had to be careful not to get caught by my boss. I was a scientist, but I didn't do experiments in the lab with bottles and acids and explosions. I used thought experiments. What's that? Well, it's just sitting and thinking, but thinking very, very hard about difficult things. I sat and thought about planets in the sky, about space, about light, and how fast it travels from stars, and about time, and whether it can speed up or slow down. All this I summarized in the equation E equals mc squared. Part of my theory of relativity. In 1919, when I was about 40, there was a total solar eclipse. This was the moment when scientists could see that my idea about how space stretches and bends was really true. Wow! Everyone was amazed. 2 years later, I was given the Nobel Prize for Physics. Now I started to become world famous and spent the next years travelling the world explaining my ideas to everyone. They're pretty difficult to understand. By 1933, the Nazi leader Adolf Hitler was in charge in Germany. Bad news if you're Jewish, like me. Time to get moving, and left Germany once and for all and moved to America, where I settled at a university for major brain boxes called Princeton. World War II had broken out, and I am very anti-war. Remember, I knew about science, and I knew how brilliant German scientists were, and I was worried that they would develop an atomic bomb. So, I wrote a letter to the American President Roosevelt to warn him about the clever German scientists. I liked America so much, I became a US citizen. America was where I died in 1955. So, give it a go. Try thinking hard about difficult things and and see what you can come up with.
With this, students, we come to an end of our today's ElGA revision class. Bye bye. Happy learning.